Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. This is RIVERBIRD. This is a new map on Farming Simulator 19. This is by MHMI. It's 148.47 megabytes to download. This is a no frills, no nonsense map. I don't say that to be derogatory. I say that because we have had a few maps of late with Shamberg and Chellington and a few others that have been very complicated. The Millennial Farms map. Speaking of which, if you're watching this now, the Millennial Farms map has had an update today. Part of that update is fixing the sell point at Lowry, making it better optimised with a lower slot count and something else as well. But yeah, so that has had an update. I thought I'd mention it while I start this off. So, where are we on the map? Where do we start? I'm on New Farmer, Normal Economy. We start up here on the map. So this is the map. Why is it called RIVERBIRD? Well, all of the place names around the map are named after river birds. We've got Heron's Barn, Heron's Animal Products. We've got Moorhen Restaurant. We've got Plover. I always say Plover. Is it Plover? It's that argument again, isn't it? You've got love, lover. Then you put a P on the front or a C on the front. It becomes Clover or Plover. Or is it a Plover? Different places in different around the world will pronounce it differently, I would imagine. So we start with on New Farmer. The farm here, fields 1, 2, 3 and field 31. Field prices aren't too bad. Sorry, we're back on there. Aren't too bad. I mean, they're up there on some of them. The periphery of the map, if I click on that, is 0. It will cost you nothing to buy the periphery. That may help with placeables and things like that. We do have forestry around the map too. Prices are fairly high for the forestry. The sawmill is down here in the southwest. But I suppose, yeah, if you buy a plot of land for 206,000, you're easily going to make more than that back on the lumber involved. Now, we do have some hidden slots on this map. So what we'll do is hop out of there and have a look at our main start farm. The slot count on New Farmer is 658 out of 1299. The slot count on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch is 535. Now, on all three, New Farmer, Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, you do start with all the buildings, but on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch you don't have any of the machinery. But I'm going to cut to something now to explain a little bit more about that, what I mean when I say there are hidden slots. Now, what do I mean when I say hidden slots? I've jumped over from New Farmer onto Farm Manager to explain. So if we look at the map, when we come onto it on Farm Manager, what do we start with? Well, you start with no land at all. What do we start with regard to equipment and machinery? If we go to garage, nothing. 0 owned is what it says here. Now this is where it's a little bit, you have to be careful, because we don't start with any equipment, anything at all, when we come onto this on Farm Manager. On New Farmer, we had this first bit of land, we had the buildings around it, we had some machinery and equipment, slot count was 658. But here's the thing, you have to own the land that the animals and stuff are on this map. We'll get to that in a little while, but what I wanted to show you was that in practice. So if I buy that plot of land now that our main farm's on, that we start with on New Farmer, so I buy that plot. If I go across to the sheep farm, which we'll get to later on, that's 84,620, I'll buy that plot. If I go down to the pig farm, 76,440, buy that plot. Then we'll go right the way across to this plot on its own. It's just a little arable farm. It's the farmhouse and a little plot of land, 20,580. Then this plot here with the horses on, 112,420. And what you'll see now is when we go into our menu for our garage, now we've got all of this stuff. So that 535 slots that we start with on here has all of this stuff included in that, but it's kind of hidden because it's on the plots of land that you don't own yet. Now, you can get rid of all this, so we can get the slot count down even further, and you can put your own placeables down, anything you want. Now, if you do sell all of this and decide, actually, I want to put it back, the only thing I would be careful of is the farmhouses, because there are 5 farmhouses. Each one has a sleep trigger. If you get rid of all of these on console, it will only let you put one back unless you're on multiplayer. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of them all. I'll get rid of everything it's given us, and we'll watch the slot count not tumble, but it will come down. So now we really do have nothing. That building is still there, but everything else is gone, and our slot count is now 381. So we got that all the way down from 658 to 535 to 381. If you really wanted to come on here and do it completely, start from scratch with all your own stuff, you absolutely can. One thing I'm going to check, because I'm not sure about, and that's the land, is that when I tried to sell this before, oh no, I sold that one all right, one of them kept saying that I still owned things on it. Maybe not, it might be okay. Fantastic. So we can set it all back off, and this is really a full, almost start from scratch in essence. So yeah, I mean that's what I kind of meant by hidden slots, and the fact they are here on the map. You can get rid of them if you want to, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So I hope that made sense. They are there, they're out on the map. If you buy the land, you can then sell them and you can get that slot count right down to 381, which is pretty good. So here at the main farm, we have got our sleep trigger. As I've already mentioned in that clip you just saw, there are 5 sleep triggers around the map. You can't go into the building, but they are here. There are no custom crops available on this map. There are some mods. Contracts are available. As far as mods go, we do have all of the things you just saw me sell off are available here as mods. Under miscellaneous, what do we have on there? The vehicle workshop trigger. Under decoration, we've got some of the barns, or we've got the farm garage that we start with here. Weirdly, that didn't come up to sell. That's interesting. And the riding field. Then under silos, we've got the silo that we start with. That's 70,000 to buy. 500,000 litre capacity multi-fruit silo. That's available. A few sheds. And then the farmhouses that are all here as well. So that's our multi-fruit silo, 500,000 litres right in front of us. Now, as I said a few minutes ago about this being a no frills, no nonsense, like I said, that's not meant in a derogatory way. It's a very open map, no fences and hedges to get in the way. There's nice sweeping terrain, but it's not overly done. Some people may argue that it's simplistic, maybe overly simplistic. You'll see when we get around to the forestry what I mean about no frills. There's no grass in amongst the trees and that kind of thing. But that being said, it's a perfectly playable map. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, I say there's nothing wrong with it. That's one of those phrases that will come back to bite me, won't it, when people start playing it and say, well, I found all sorts of problems. As far as I can tell, for a first look, looking around the map, it seems okay. I'm going to grab the tractor, the case, and we'll head out. Now, as far as triggers go for the pens that are here, whilst they are showing as being modded ones, they are pretty much like the standard in-game pens. Milk trigger, feed and straw trigger, dialogue boxes around the side. Same with the chickens. They're not, again, not overly complicated. Everything is kind of where you assume it should be, the slurry point and the manure point around there. Nice looking shed and building. I like the design. I think the lighting is automatic. I can't find a light switch, but that's no surprise there for me, is it? Bit more of our equipment and machinery tucked away in here as well. We didn't, yeah, actually I kind of scooted through, didn't really show you what we start with. We go to garage, we start with the Fendt Favorite 515C, the Case Puma 240 CVX, a Massey Ferguson Activa 7347, a Cramper Bandit. We've got the Strautmann SEK 802 header for the harvester. We've got an Agricem Combi Plow Gold 4 metre subsoiler. We've got a Vadrastat Rapid A600S seeder. We've got a Brado K105 fertiliser and lime spreader, mower, round baler, some front loader attachments, and then we move into all the other bits that are available here at the main farm. But like I say, that's not showing the little workshop building. But so that's what we have to start with, and then obviously in addition to those kind of hidden slots that are on the map already. We're going to do clockwise route round. We're going to head north first. It's nice and open all around. The ability, once you've bought the land, and I guess the periphery as well, because the periphery is zero, you might as well. There's plenty of runoff all around the fields, so to expand them out, plough them together, that kind of thing, I don't see why that would be a problem at all. Again, I really do need to stipulate when I do these map tours, this is a first look. I mean, I'd say first look for you. For me, I've been around the map once. I haven't played on it. When I say you should be able to, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to, but often we get maps pop up where for some reason landscaping won't work or placeables won't work and that kind of thing. Why the Farms has also had an update today. That's amended the placeables problem that's had for a while, but MrSealyp has also removed the ability for the placeable factories packs to work, so they will no longer work on that map. I think because it was causing a few problems. I like the buildings set back. Again, it's not overly, there's not loads of fences around the buildings, there's not extra you know, flowers and bushes and things in here, but you can put them in. I suppose this is another one of those somewhere between a complete build it yourself map. It's a more of a fixer-upper, I think, isn't it? You can absolutely play on it as is, no problem at all, perfectly happily, but you can add a load of stuff in if you want to, if you feel that it's a little bit bare, I guess. You know, that's kind of the point behind it. We'll get to biogas plant and explain about that in just a second. We are now at the livestock market, the trigger of which is just here. Heron's Animal Dealer. We've got the Heron's Barn sell point. I think they're supposed to say straw pellets. Hay and straw pellets, not pallets, I think. But that's something I like on here. Everything's clear. It's, you know, it shows you what it is, where it is. We've got a buy point for manure and liquid manure, so you can come here to buy them if you want to. And then we've got a sell point just here. So if we check on the map, we come from the main farm here up the top, cross past all those houses down here. So animal dealer, Heron's Barn, Heron's Manure Buy, so whether it's liquid or solid manure, and Heron's Animal Products. If we go across one to the sell points, Heron's Animal Products, if we scroll across, they'll buy your eggs and your milk. They'll also buy, so they'll buy manure and slurry and digestate. That's an interesting one. They'll buy digestate as well. Something we'll get to in a little while when we get to the, I'm thinking plover. Why do I think, I'm sure the bird's called a plover, isn't it? I could be misremembering. When we get to the plover co-op, you'll see you've got a buy point and a sell point there, pretty much like you have here. And the thing about those is somewhere to sell your excess, but you are not going to make your fortune. It's not one of those situations where you can buy and then sell right next to where you bought for and make a massive profit. If anything, you make less money selling it, but it is supposed to be where you sell your excess stuff. You don't just go there, buy a load of stuff and empty the trailer directly into the sell point. I think that's what they were trying to avoid. So, we're going to head south. See what I mean? We've got these kind of ridged bits up and down, sweeping terrain. I use the word undulations, as I always do. We got bridges going across various different places. There's a ford later on we'll get to. Little wooden sort of rickety bridge further down there. There are a couple of placeable areas, one to the left just there, opposite the store. I'm going to take a quick right here. We've got a fuel station. We're kind of into the main town. Yeah, we're into the main town now. Fuel just there. Main dealership. Store is just here. With your buy point, your sell, repair and customise point. This is Mallard's garage. This is also the reset point. If you get anything stuck, have any problems, the reset point will be back here at the main store. Then from here we go around the back of this building, I think. Yeah, so the Moorhen restaurant. The Moorhen restaurant is the main sell point. I've said it before when I refer to that, it's the one that buys the most things, generally speaking. That's the Moorhen restaurant sell point. Then from here we're going to go to the... I was going to say that out loud, but I just have to be so careful these days. So here, Plover Co-op. So you can buy, this you can buy, let me get this right, liquid manure, no, not liquid manure, seed, fertiliser, lime, liquid fertiliser and herbicide can all be bought here, but they can all be sold here as well. And like I say, you won't make a profit on those, but if you do have any excess, any spare that you just want to get rid of, you absolutely can. From here, leaving the main town behind, we're going to take a left down towards the sheep farm. Now I don't know once you bought the periphery, because there's a load of there's a load of space in the town. As you look through there, there's a little, well, Ledley, sorry, not allowed to use little, are we? A Ledley. Whether or not you'll be able to place other sell points around from various different placeables, packs, and sell points available in the mod hub, I don't see any reason why not. The sheep farm is just here with the next of our sleep triggers. Again, the dialogue box and stuff on this will only work if you own the land. If I click L3 on here now, nothing's happening. I need to own that land before I can put any animals in or actually use it. Sleep trigger is just there in the farmhouse. And again, if you do sell them all off, unless you go back on some multiplayer, you'd only be able to place one. It's just one of those kind of console restrictions, isn't it, I guess. But from here, am I going the right way? I think so. Yeah, up towards the biogas plant. So up to, well, yeah, we're heading up. We're still going south, but we're going, we're gaining elevation. So I didn't look at the biogas plant with you on the, when we kind of looked at the main map and the prices and that kind of stuff. That's got a bit of an angle on that. It's a fairly standard biogas plant. 2 large bunkers, the sell point just there, your digestate collection point just up here for your byproducts. So if we now go to the map and have a look, we've come from here, across the bridges, fuel station, store, Moorhen's restaurant, Plover Co-op and buy station. Then we come out here to the sheep, and down here we're now at the biogas plant. Biogas plant to buy is 109,680. When you do buy it, it will look a little bit like this on the sell point menu, which is pretty good for silage. Generally speaking, we're looking at around 360, so yeah, not bad at all. From here we're going to continue south again. I like that as well. I think because of the way the ground does sweep, you're going to have to think about the machinery you're going to use. I don't see any reason why you can't use any size machinery. You can anything you like on here, up to the biggest stuff, because you've got plenty of room. and some of those hills are going to require a bit more horsepower to pull certain bits of machinery. Some maps you can get away with seeders and planters and cultivators and stuff on lower horsepower if it's quite flat, but this one I think you're going to have to, yeah, you have to give it a bit of thought. So pig farm is just here again. Sleep trigger just there. You do have to buy this plot of land to be able to put pigs in here. This is the pig farm. Now I have been asked before why I don't do my map tours using the placeables trigger, as if I was going to place something and almost use it like a drone. I personally, it's a little bit like the same thing about the difference between an audio book and reading an actual tangible book in your hand. I prefer to be in a vehicle. I prefer to be on the ground. You know, it's all well and good whizzing around having a quick aerial view if you want to do that to get yourself familiarised with the map. Of course, it's a quick and easy way of whizzing around. Just pick something off the placeables menu, normally something small, it's easy to do that, and then just whiz around the map and have a quick look. But I prefer doing my tours kind of on the ground. You get a better feel, I think personally, I just get a better feel for the map. Off to our left, we have the wall sail point, spinnery, which we're going to turn into now. Carrying up that road, we come into the other side of the town. Wagtail wool. Then carrying along, we're going to come to the sawmill, the lumber sale point and the wood chip sale point. And this was what I was talking about earlier on when I said about the kind of no frills thing. There are plenty of maps like this. Again, this is not being derogatory towards this map. There are loads of maps that are like this. The actual texturing looks really nice. I like it. But there are areas like this where it's a little bit, I've used this term before, a little bit clunky, where it's not kind of smoothed in any way. It's just a little bit kind of, you know, almost as if you've kind of landscaped it yourself. You drop the ground down. And there's a few bushes and things here and there. But there's no grass texture on the ground between the trees. There's nothing anywhere that says... Whoa, I bogged down, really bogged down then. That was weird. There's nothing anywhere that says you have to have grass texture in between the trees, but... Or, you know, or grass, not necessarily texture, but grass itself. But, you know, again, it is what it is. Continuing on. Forestry all to the south of us. And in the southwest, we've got the sawmill. Lumber point, just there. Wood chip point, just there. And then we head north. Now the small house that I showed you on the map earlier on when I was talking about the hidden slots, it's just come up on the right hand side, and that is literally just the house. I think there's a little shed next to it, and it's a sleep trigger, but there's no animals there with that. Actually, what we'll do, we'll cut across the grass, I'm sure. Again, once the land is owned, you can then sell that, as you saw. And from here we head to the horses. Which you also need to own the land here to be able to put horses in there. Now I think providing you can put your placeables wherever you want to on this map, it's another one of those ones that has a lot of scope for kind of making it your own, adding your own little, you know, embellishments and tweaks and changes to it. So horse paddock just there with a little shelter, another sleep trigger just there, and your exercise area for your horses. just there. Now I mentioned earlier about the fact there were bridges all the way across apart from one point where there's a ford, so what we'll do is we'll cut across here. And we've got a ford just across the river here. One of the lower points. And then we're actually heading up pretty much back towards the main farm where we started, I think. What we'll do is have a quick look from the map. So we went from the biogas plant down here to the pig farm, from the pig farm all the way out to Wagtail Wall, from there to the sawmill, from the sawmill up to the little house to the horse paddock training area. We've just crossed the ford there. So what we're going to do now is head back up, which will take us back to the main farm area. And that's the map. You know, it's like I said, it's just fairly standard, it's fairly basic. It's got everything you need to play on it right from the start. How you choose or what you choose to do with it after that is entirely up to you. So that's RIVERBIRD by MHMI. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.